Gary Chambers, a man running for a Senate seat in the state of Louisiana, recently released a campaign ad. In the ad, he is seen smoking a blunt. It's one of the dopest campaign ads, pun definitely intended there, I've ever seen in my life. Take a look at it. It's truly spectacular.
Every 37 seconds, someone is arrested for possession of marijuana. Since 2010, state and local police have arrested an estimated 7.3 million Americans for violating marijuana laws, over half of all drug arrests. Black people are 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana laws than white people. States waste $3.7 billion enforcing marijuana laws every year. Most of the people police are arresting aren't dealers, but rather people with small amounts of pot, just like me. I'm Gary Chambers, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Wow. When I first saw that, it really put a smile on my face. And the reason for that is that little 37-second video, to me, represents pretty much every smoker that has ever existed. I mean, he's sitting comfortably in a chair, chilling, minding his own business, smoking a fat ass wood, just enjoying life, the high life. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. So he's obviously for legalizing weed, legalizing marijuana. And this is an issue that's ever so reoccurring, that's been gaining lots of steam over these past several years, decades, whatever. That's extremely relevant today. And just that fact that he said in the beginning, every 37 seconds, somebody gets arrested for marijuana, for having possession of marijuana. And the majority of people that get arrested for it aren't even dealers. They're just people that use the substance. That's absolutely amazing, that fact. And, you know, that shouldn't happen in the so-called freest country in the world, the land of the free, America. You know, there's this championing of freedom that happens a lot, you know, and you see it quite constantly on the right. But to some of those same people that like to, you know, argue for their freedom, they turn instantly anti-freedom when it comes to, well, maybe we should legalize marijuana. Maybe we should give people the choice as to whether or not they want to indulge in a particular substance to alter their state of mind for a set period of time. You know, you might smoke a little weed. You might smoke a blunt or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, or however much you want. And I don't know, you might take your dog for a walk. You might go take a trip to McDonald's. You might make yourself a grilled cheese sandwich. Some people get productive when they smoke. They like to clean the house, you know. I have a friend who does a little bit of construction work, a little bit of building. He's very crafty with his hands. So he told me this one story where he got high and made a table. I mean, people do an assortment of things when they smoke weed. I mean, it truly depends on the individual. And this is the true epitome of what freedom is. You know, the ability to do what you want as long as you're not hurting or disturbing the peace of anyone else. And that's what marijuana awards you. That's what it awards those that indulge in it. But seemingly our political leaders and the powers that be don't want to award many of us said freedom. As you can see, it's really weird. In certain places around the country, in certain states, it's legal. In other states, it's illegal. So it's like you can do it here, you can't do it there. And it's very awkward. And of course, at the federal level, we know it's illegal. And that can change at any point in time. Our current sitting president can change that. Any current sitting president can change that, you know, but so far they haven't. Now, you know, he laid out a set of facts there in that video, and I want to drop another one. Did you know that police officers, law enforcement, only 4% of their time is centered towards, you know, combating violent crime? Only 4% of their time. I don't really remember when I came across that fact. I just know that I did, and it's something that stuck with me. 4% of their time. So it makes you wonder what goes on in the other 96% of their time. Well, shit like this, taking down people for having a little bit of marijuana. That's what goes on. You know, I mean, of course, there's a plethora of other things, but that's one of the most starkest things that happen. You know, throwing people away for years, you know, giving them criminal records. By the way, free all the nonviolent drug offenders, expunge their records. And then there's this big cloud hanging over this entire marijuana debate. It's called the drug war. End the drug war. We know it's deleterious effects that it has on communities, especially minority communities, especially black communities. I mean, he gave you the facts in that little video, and this is how campaign ads should be. Strict, to the point, very blatant and obvious. You know what he's for, you know what he wants, you know what he's trying to do. There's a set goal here, and you think more politicians would adopt this level of honesty, because that's all it was. He was just being himself. You could tell that he likes marijuana, he likes smoking weed, and it's something that he wants other people to enjoy as well if they so choose. Once again, it's your choice. But look, man, this is an issue that's very black and white to me, man. Legalize weed. Do it yesterday. Should have been done a long time ago. But look, we've come a long way. More and more people around the country are, at the very least, warming up to the idea of legalizing marijuana. I mean, when states have, when they do direct democracy, when people vote on particular elections and then they ask, well, do you want to decriminalize marijuana or legalize it? The majority always votes to either decriminalize it or legalize it. That should tell you what direction the country is heading in. And I mean, the marijuana industry is getting very lucrative. And they're at the point now where they have created and are creating lobbying groups, and they can start lobbying Congress the same way, the medical insurance industry does, the big pharma does, and all these other entities to get them to promote legislation on their behalf. It's kind of sad that it may have to happen that way, but it is what it is. But at some point, we're going to reach a point where you can no longer deny it, and it's going to be legal everywhere across the country. I mean, we're seeing state after state after state take action and legalize it, or at the very least decriminalize it. But look, man, that ad was dope. Pun intended once again. Shout out to him, man. One of the realest ads I think I may have ever seen.